Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Welcome to a very cold workshop. It's like -5. I do have the heater on. Today I'm going to be doing stages 33 to 38 of the Fanhome release, a build the John Wick Mustang. I'm also going to be doing the missing stage 27 that I have, which I've now got now. Now, what sort of English is that? Obviously, the last time you saw this, I was actually just putting some carpets into this, but we are going to be continuing on with this internal section today. Obviously, stage 27, I'm going to be putting the seat in. I've got it right this time, called it a chair normally, don't I? If you do want to get this for yourself, you will have to check if this is available. I'll put a link in the video description and you do have that QR code on the screen. Let's catch up first, do stage 27. Yes, as I mentioned, stage 27, I did have the magazine last time, but I never had any of the parts for it. And as you can see, we are building one of the seats. So that means both of the seats would then be in place on the Mustang that we're building now. And this is the rest of the magazine. I do apologise, I really am having trouble turning the pages because it's so cold in here. There you go. So here we go. Here is my missing stage 27 parts. And once again, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the plastic base for the seat and I'm going to be putting that onto this rubbery section, which isn't as rubby as it normally is because of how cold it is in here. Just push that into place there. Once I've done that, I can put the back onto the other side of the seat, which is the backrest. Just got lugs on here, so it's a case of lining them up, pushing them into place. So then that's nice and flush. I've got this seat handle, which has got a D-shaped pattern in it, which is going to be going into here. Just going into the side of the seat here to make sure that goes all the way in. Perfect. Put these two parts together, which is going to make the seat. I'm holding them in with these eye screws here. These are the flange screws. And then I get to put this seat into place as well, which is just going to go on here. And once again, it's going to be held in with these eye screws from the other side. Now, before I put some different screws in here, because obviously I didn't have stage 27, I didn't have all the screws, so I probably will change them for the correct ones that need to be in here. As a matter of fact, I actually prefer the bigger ones here than I got there. But so I am going to leave them in place. But there we go, both the seats are now in, and that's all there is to do in that stage. Okay, so starting this pack now, we're going to be on stage 33. And I've got no idea what we're doing now. All I know is we were finishing the internal section last time. And we've got the steering wheel and front floor mats here. Obviously, I'm not going to be using the front floor mats because I've got my own ones that I've put in here. But I will put the steering wheel together, as you can see there. I will show you what the mats look like as well, but I won't be putting that into place. And that looks just like this. There is another page there. Can't turn the pages. So, if you remember, this was the steering linkage that we created in the last pack. This is stage 33 here. And this is what the stock mats look like. Just like this here. And you can put these in if you want to use those. For me, though, I'm going to be taking this steering linkage that we had before and I'm going to be putting in this part of the steering, which is just going to go on the top here. Now, there is a shape on this. So I need to make sure that I've got it in this way round. And it needs to fit really tight on there so that this is actually flush on the other side. Because it's this that I'm going to be mounting the steering wheel to. Now, it actually gets mounted with one F screw, which I've got here. Put that through there. Make that nice and tight. There we go. We got steering. And then I'm going to be hiding that screw by putting in this center emblem here. Pushing that into place. There you go. That looks really good. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So, stage 34. Fingers are warming up a little bit now. We're going to start the dashboard. Look at that walnut panel in there. That's excellent. Making the dials. Putting that into place. So that's how that's looking. And again, this is the rest of the magazine. And here is stage 34 with, as you can see, that lovely panel in there. Okay, the first thing I want is these reflectors here, and then I do need that paneling as well. And what I'm going to do is push the paneling through this section, so we do have a reflector and trim, a chrome trim around the edge there. And then on top of that, I've got the dials, which are already shaped. They're looking like this, and again, they're going to go in the same way, just through the holes. So we're building this up, looking like that. That's got to be the quickest way to make dials, definitely. Put that to one side just while I put this section in, again with this paneling here. And I'm going to be putting this chrome section just around the inside here, over the two lugs. So now that's looking like that. I've then got to put this dial into place. Obviously, make sure you put the dial in the right way round. It needs to be facing outwards. So when I got it, it's going to be going in like this, as you can see. And then that is both sections done. That was a very quick stage, but that looks really impactful. So in stage 35, I'm guessing we're just now going to be building up the whole dashboard. And as you see, we have got the dashboard here. We've got some electrics here as well, and some things on a sprue as well. So I am going to need my sprue cutters. Looks like we've got some buttons. And again, this is the rest of the magazine. Easy to see where stage 35 is. It's the biggest stage in this pack. So I'm going to get everything out, including these G screws. And I am guessing I've got some buttons somewhere on a sprue. I have. Anytime I do work with a sprue, I do use my magnifying glasses for this. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to start putting everything into place on this dashboard. So first of all, we've got the dials that we created. They're going to go in this side here, just like this. Making sure it's fitting flush, which it is. Turn it over, and it's held in with these G screws here. And I'm going to need 3 of these, just to go into the 3 holes that you can see just there. On this side. And finally, just one here. Going to do exactly the same thing with the dial on the other side here, which just goes in there. Turn it over, this time 2 screws to hold that in place. Now on this sprue, this one's actually broke off. You've got 2 and 3. I want the buttons which are labelled number 2. So I'm going to cut these off. And push these into place. These are going into the holes just underneath the dials here. So one this side, like that. And then one this side here. So now that's looking like that. I want to keep the other buttons safe for now, because the last thing to do is take this LED. There's actually 2 LEDs on here, and it's labelled D10. The shorter one that I've got, I'm going to want to put into the hole just at the side here. Push that in. And then the larger one that we've got is just going to go down the top of this section here. Push that in, and then just bend this wire around. So that's going to fit flat in there, just like that. And that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 36, here is the instructions. And again, we've got some dashboard center console and pedals this time. Putting this together like that. Get to attach the steering wheel by the look of it. And it looks like we're going to mount this into the interior floor pan as well. This is the rest of the magazine. So there's a little bit to do in this stage. Nothing we can't handle though. Okay, first thing we want is the top of the dashboard here. And I do have this little detail just here, which is going to go into the slot at the back. Now it's a little square detail, so once it's pushed in, it's not going to come out, but that is how that looks in there. Then this is going to be going on top of what we've just created here. So we do have a locating lug just at the front, line it up, and it fits over the top just like that. And I'm holding that in with 3 of these G screws. So one's just going to go right through the center here. And then we've got 2 either side, but I'm not going to be able to use that screwdriver because I need a long stem screwdriver to get all the way down. It's right in the corner here. And we've got one on the other side as well. So that's in place. Looks good, doesn't it? Okay, we've got to put this center console panel in, which is like the radio and stuff, the old-fashioned radios, as you can see there. Turn that over, and once again G-screws to hold this into place. And I'm going to need 2 of these. Now the 2 buttons that we had left from the last stage, which I've got over here, I'm now going to cut these off the sprues. Because these are for the radio. They're just going to go either side of the radio. So one there. And one there. That looks pretty impressive. I'm then going to put the steering into place. So that's just going to mount into the section that you can see just there. So it fits in just like that. Turn it over, and again it's going to be held in with 3 of these G-screws. Don't worry too much about the orientation of the steering wheel at the moment. There you go. That is fully into place. Then I've got the pedals here, which we're going to put in. Now the pedals are actually going to be going underneath this steering column, and they're fitting just like that. Again, held in with the same screws, which are these G screws here. That's perfect. And then finally we're going to mount this to the interior floor pan. So what's going to happen is the 2 lugs that we've got just on the bottom here are going to go into the holes just here. So they fit in like that. They're actually held in from the other side with C screws. So if I hold that through the center there and then turn it upside down, I can get the C screws in from this side. And it takes 2 of these. And this certainly came together very quickly, didn't it? But that awesome looking dashboard is all there is to do in that stage. So the penultimate stage of this pack, which is stage 37. Here are the instructions, and we've got a left rear leaf spring, which we're going to start creating now. Looks like we're starting to work back on the chassis of the car. I'm guessing that's probably going to come next time. I don't think, well, we haven't had that yet. There's no thinking about it, because at the moment I'm actually storing this build in quite a small storage container, because it's not really that big. The biggest thing we've got at the moment now is the floor pan. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it this way round, and I've got a first bracket to put in here. What I'm going to do is it goes in, I'm going to work on this section here first where they're all compacted together. Now if you have a look on this, there's an arrow on it. That tells you which way the screw goes into this. So when I put this on here like this, the screw's going to be going in from this direction here. And that'll enable me to screw that all the way through. Like that. And what we've done on one side, we're going to do on the other side. So again, I want to keep the screws in the same place. So I'm following the arrow there. Get this through here and tighten this up. And there we go. That was a quick stage. That's all there is to do in that stage. So the last stage of this pack, what are we going to do? We're going to do the differential. So we're creating that just like this, putting that together. And that will be all there will be to do in this pack. Perfect. So that was quite a quick pack. I'm glad I had the extra stage 27 to do now. I've got some eye screws here. And the first thing to do is we're going to be putting the differential together. So what I want is this way round. And I'm going to be putting this on, making sure it's the right way round, onto this side just here like that. It's going to be held in with those eye screws. So one there. And one in that side. And then we've got these 2 hooks here, but we're not actually using them in this stage. So pretty much that is all there is to do in that pack. So as you can see, we've got those 2 sections there, and we have completed the dashboard. That was actually a really quick pack, a lot quicker than I thought it would be, but look, that's pretty impressive, isn't it? Absolutely love that. Once again, if you do want to get this for yourself, it's in the video description. QR code's on the screen, but I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.